We live in a state of chronic mental fatigue, a fog that clings to our thoughts from the moment we wake up until we collapse at night. We blame the workload, the deadlines, and the noise of the world. We assume this is the natural price of progress. But what if this heaviness isn't the result of your work? What if it is the result of how you program your brain before you even stand up from your bed? The Japanese deeply understand the concept of seijaku, the art of active silence, the ability to maintain a clear mind even amidst chaos. While the West has forgotten what it means to simply be, we start every day in a state of biological emergency. Let us dismantle the first two habits that are draining your brain's fuel, turning your willpower into ash before noon. Habit 1 is the morning screen trap. The moment you wake, your hand reaches for your smartphone. You check your email, messages, news headlines, or social feeds. You think you are getting a head start, that you are keeping your finger on the pulse of the world. But in reality, you are committing an act of biological sabotage. When your gaze falls on that glowing screen, your brain is forcibly dragged from the calm, restorative delta wave state of deep sleep and instantly hurled into a high-frequency beta wave mode. You are completely bypassing the alpha wave phase, the zone of creativity, intuition, and quiet focus that is vital for a clear mind. This transition triggers a sudden, almost violent cortisol spike. Your adrenal glands are shocked into action, forcing them to work at their limit from the very beginning. You are laying the foundation for a baseline of background anxiety that will color every choice and every thought you have for the next 12 hours. You haven't even started your work, but your nervous system is already exhausted. It is running on the fuel of a stress response, not your natural vital energy. This is the price of morning dopamine. Habit 2 is the dopamine stacking through micro videos, the endless scroll of reels, shorts, or TikToks during your breaks. You have a free minute, so you immediately grab your phone. You justify it by telling yourself you are resting, but you are actually plunging into an abyss of cognitive overconsumption. Each short video is a powerful flash of visual stimuli, sounds, montage cuts, and shifting narratives. Your brain reacts to every single clip as a new event, forcing your prefrontal cortex to process information at an inhuman speed. This exhausts your glucose reserves in a matter of minutes. By the time you actually need to concentrate on a complex, truly important task, your brain resembles a muscle that has already run a marathon. You are not resting, you are overloading your receptors. The Japanese secret of seijaku is the exact opposite. When you have a pause, you do nothing. You breathe. You stare at a single point. You let the dopamine storm subside. The shift is simple. Replace the digital noise with silence. Stop stacking fake stimulation on top of your already tired brain. Let your mind settle so it can truly recover. In this space of emptiness and silence lies the key to your true productivity. When you remove the external boosts, your brain is forced to return to its own resource, which has always been there, but was buried under layers of useless noise. We have cleared the morning dopamine fog, but we must now face the deeper, more dangerous trap, the physical reality of your cognitive capacity. In the West, we treat laziness as a moral failing or a sign of poor character. We tell ourselves that if we just pushed harder, drank another espresso, or forced our way through the fatigue, the fog would lift. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of brain anatomy. The brain is the most energy-hungry organ in your body. It consumes nearly 20% of your total oxygen supply, despite being only 2% of your mass. When you feel that heavy, thick brain fog, you are not failing. You're experiencing a state of physiological bankruptcy. You are literally starving your prefrontal cortex, the command center for focus, complex decision-making, and self-control, of the oxygen and cellular resources it requires to function. Western lifestyle habits have inadvertently turned our own biology into the enemy of our cognitive clarity, trapping us in a cycle of cellular hypoxia and metabolic stagnation that leaves us drained by midday. Habit 3 is the rejection of the passive scroll in favor of seijaku, the art of conscious silence. In the West, whenever we have a moment of downtime, we immediately reach for a source of information. We think we are relaxing by reading an article or checking a notification, but your brain is actually working overtime. It is consuming massive amounts of glucose and oxygen just to categorize, file, and interpret this incoming data. Your brain's default mode network, DMN, the vital neural system responsible for cleaning out mental RAM, consolidating memories, and making creative connections, can never fully activate as long as you are flooding it with new information. Seijaku is the practice of intentional, active stillness. When you have a pause during your workday, instead of looking at a screen, you must do nothing. You sit, you breathe, and you allow your nervous system to decouple from the external world. This silence isn't just not working. It is the state where your brain performs its most essential maintenance. It clears the metabolic trash from your neural pathways. By choosing silence over scrolling, you are literally unloading your mental baggage, lifting the fog, and returning to your tasks with a clean, sharpened cognitive blade. Habit 4 is Shinrin-yoku, the Japanese forest bath, and the vital power of the optical flow. We live our lives indoors, our gaze fixed at short distances, trapped in environments that signal to our reptilian brain that we are in a state of confinement or isolation. This atrophy of our visual range suppresses the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that acts as the miracle grow for your brain cells. When you stay in a confined space for hours, your vestibular system slows down, your lymphatic system stagnates, and your alertness plummets. Shinrin-yoku is the antidote. It is the act of stepping outside and fixing your gaze on distant, non-fixed objects, the horizon, the movement of trees, the depth of a landscape. This triggers optical flow, the continuous movement of the environment across your retina. Biologically, this is a massive, all-clear signal to your nervous system. It triggers the activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, instantly lowering your cortisol levels and calming the amygdala. You aren't just taking a walk. You are physically forcing your body out of a state of chronic indoor stress and back into a state of natural alertness. When you observe movement at a distance, your brain reacts by increasing BDNF production, effectively rebooting your neural connections. The shift is simple. You don't need a forest to do this. You need to look out a window, step onto a balcony, or walk to the end of the street. Break the cycle of indoor confinement. Stop letting your eyes stay locked on a flat, two-dimensional plane. Move your eyes, change your focal depth, and let your brain drink in the environment again. You are not losing time by stepping away from your screen. You are regenerating the very tool you need to succeed. When you return, you will find that the laziness has vanished, replaced by the natural, effortless energy of a mind that is finally breathing again. We have moved beyond the biological basics and are now diving into the most expensive habit of the modern age, the fragmentation of the self. We live in a culture that treats multitasking as a badge of honor, a sign that we are somehow more capable, more evolved, or more productive than our peers. But if you could look at the electrical activity inside your brain, you would see a scene of carnage. You are not multitasking. You are engaging in a process of constant, violent self-interruption. You are forcing your neurons to abandon a complex structure, clear their working memory, and attempt to build a completely new structure in seconds. This is the death of your mental capacity, and it is the primary reason why your brain feels fried before the day is even half over. Habit 5 is the illusion of multitasking. You have an email open, a document on the side, a browser tab with research, and a messaging app blinking at you. You think you are balancing them. You are not. Every time you switch your attention from the report to the message, your brain undergoes a context-switching penalty. It takes your prefrontal cortex anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes to achieve the same level of deep immersion it had before the interruption. By constantly jumping back and forth, you are essentially resetting your ability to think deeply dozens of times a day. You are burning up to 40% of your brain's total energy budget on the overhead costs of switching tasks, rather than on the tasks themselves. This is why you are exhausted by 3 p.m. You have spent your entire day paying a heavy tax for every single click. The Japanese approach is one of singular focus, ichigyo zamai, the practice of being fully absorbed in one single act. They do not work on 4 things at once. They work on one thing until it is complete, and they treat that task as the only thing that exists in the universe. The shift. Choose one goal. Close everything else, and refuse to move until that one thing is done. Reclaim your energy from the tax of switching. Habit 6 is the fear of the pause, the total rejection of ma. We are terrified of the gap between tasks. As soon as you hit send on an email, you immediately click the next tab. As soon as you finish a meeting, you look at your phone. You believe that dead time is wasted time. But this is the fundamental misunderstanding of how the brain works. Your brain has a default mode network, DMN. This is the state your mind enters when you aren't focused on anything in particular. It is in this idling state that your brain performs its most crucial work. It consolidates memories, makes creative connections between disparate pieces of information, and structures your future plans. When you eliminate every single pause, you essentially lobotomize your brain's ability to process the experience of your day. You are filling the cup so full that the water cannot circulate. The Japanese masters of productivity do not work like robots. They work like tides. They push, they achieve, and then they retreat. They allow for ma, the intentional space between actions. A pause is not an absence of work. It is the integration of work. When you deny yourself that space, you are not being productive. You are ensuring that your brain remains a surface-level processor, never allowing your ideas to solidify or your insights to grow. The shift. The next time you finish a task, do not rush to the next one. Close your eyes, take 3 breaths, stand up and stretch. Give your brain those 60 seconds to save the work you just performed. You will find that you arrive at your next task with twice the clarity and half the strain. You are not doing less. You are allowing your brain to finally catch up to the speed at which you are living. You are finally, after all these years, working with your brain rather than against it. We have reached the psychological bedrock of your fatigue. We have optimized your posture, corrected your breathing, and refined your focus. But there remains a deep, subterranean level of exhaustion that no amount of efficiency or time management can cure. This is the exhaustion of the heart, the energy lost to internal conflict. You might think your brain is tired because of the report you wrote or the meeting you attended, but often the real culprit is a hidden background program running inside your mind, a process of emotional self-sabotage that drains your cognitive bandwidth every single second. While you are trying to work, your subconscious is busy dealing with internal wounds, comparisons, and unresolved files that you never gave yourself permission to close. This is the silent battery drainer, and it is the reason you feel a crushing sense of lethargy even on days when your to-do list is relatively short. Habit 7 is the digital mirror trap, the constant, involuntary comparison of your mundane, raw, and often difficult reality with the curated, filtered, and perfected highlight reels of other people's lives on social media. You do this subconsciously every time you reach for your phone to take a break. You look at an acquaintance's promotion, a stranger's vacation, or an influencer's perfect morning, and in a fraction of a second, your brain triggers a biological mechanism known as social status lowering. This isn't just a fleeting feeling of envy, it is a physiological event. Your brain interprets your lower perceived status as a survival threat, and it responds by dampening your serotonin production. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter of confidence, resilience, and executive function. When you artificially lower your status, you are literally plunging your own nervous system into a state of subclinical depression. You aren't just looking at a screen, you are poisoning your own neurochemistry. You end up feeling heavy, slow, and unmotivated, unable to summon the energy for your own life because you have spent your mental budget feeling inferior to an image that wasn't even real. In the Japanese tradition, there is a deep respect for jisoku, knowing how much is enough. They know that your energy is finite and that looking at the lives of others is a theft of your own focus. The shift is radical. You must protect your mental space with the ferocity of a guardian. Stop consuming the lives of others while you are supposed to be building your own. If it doesn't serve your growth, it is an obstacle. Habit 8 is the nocturnal audit of errors, the habit of replaying your past mistakes, awkward conversations, or missed opportunities while you are trying to wind down for sleep. We call this thinking things through, but your brain calls it the Zeigarnik effect. Your mind is biologically designed to treat any interrupted or unfinished task as a high-priority, open file. When you dwell on an argument you had at lunch, a meeting where you felt humiliated, or a decision you regret from 3 years ago, your brain perceives these as active, unresolved problems. It refuses to let them go because it thinks you are solving them. But you aren't solving them. You are just keeping the cortisol levels elevated long after the sun has gone down. This is a disastrous misuse of your brain's processing power. You are spending your night trying to debug code that was written in the past, preventing your brain from performing the essential maintenance it needs to do, cleaning out neurotoxins and consolidating new learning. You wake up exhausted, not because you didn't sleep, but because you spent the night in a state of high-intensity emotional labor. You have treated your past as a present-day emergency. The Japanese philosophy of seijaku, active silence, requires that you consciously close the day. When the sun sets, the day is complete. The errors are part of the past. They are dead files. The shift requires a physical ritual. When you finish your day, write down the one thing that is bothering you, look at it, and then physically close the notebook. Tell yourself, this day is complete. I will not pay the cost of this problem until tomorrow. By turning these thoughts into closed files, you liberate your mind from the prison of the past. You are finally giving your brain permission to stop working for the night. And in doing so, you are allowing yourself to finally, truly recover. You are not forgetting. You are choosing to prioritize your future clarity over your past mistakes. You are breaking the cycle of the internal virus that has been eating your battery for years. We have reached the final layer of our audit, the threshold between who you are today and the exhausted person you are afraid of becoming tomorrow. We have cleared the digital noise, the emotional traps, and the chaotic multitasking of your day. Now we arrive at the most critical stage of the process, the destruction of your restorative architecture. Most of us are living in a state of continuous biological bankruptcy. We spend our days burning through our cognitive reserves, and then, at night, the very time we are supposed to be refinancing our mind, we inadvertently sabotage the only biological mechanism that can save us. You are not just tired. You are systematically poisoning your own nervous system by blocking the processes designed to clean it. This is not about willpower. It is about physiology. If you ignore the laws of your own biology, your body will eventually execute a systemic reset that you won't like. Burnout, chronic fatigue, or long-term cognitive decline. We have to stop this collapse. Habit 9 is the blue light blight, the total disregard for seijaku, the art of stillness, in the evening, specifically through the use of high-intensity, cold-spectrum LED lighting and screens after 8 p.m. We think we are being productive by working late under bright clinical lights, but we are actually triggering a biological lie. Your retinas are hardwired to recognize that specific frequency of blue light as the peak intensity of the midday sun. When you expose your eyes to this at 9 p.m., you are sending a false signal to your suprachiasmatic nucleus, the master clock in your brain, that the day is at its height. Your brain immediately halts the production of melatonin, the hormone that isn't just for sleep. It is the master antioxidant of the brain. Without melatonin, the glymphatic system, the brain's waste disposal mechanism, cannot activate. Imagine your brain as a house that is supposed to be cleaned by a crew at night, but you've locked the doors and kept the lights on. The neurotoxic proteins, the metabolic waste, the trash from your thoughts, it all stays, building up in the interstitial spaces of your brain. You wake up physically poisoned by your own metabolic byproducts. You aren't just groggy, you are suffering from a mild form of self-induced neurotoxicity. The shift is non-negotiable. Transition your environment to warmth. Use low, amber-colored lamps. Turn off the overheads. Treat the evening as a slow descent into darkness, not a frantic race against the clock. By inviting the dark, you are literally giving your brain the command to start the cleaning crew. Habit 10 is the mind-body split, the ultimate betrayal of your own physiology. This is the habit of ignoring the signals of your body in favor of the tasks of your mind. You feel hungry, but you work through it. You feel your shoulders tightening, your neck aching, your eyes burning, and your chest compressing with stress, but you force yourself to keep going because the job isn't done. You treat your body like an inconvenient piece of hardware that is currently malfunctioning. This is a catastrophic error. Your brain and your body are not separate. They are a single, continuous feedback loop. When you ignore the physical reality of fatigue, you are forcing your brain to override your biology, which requires massive amounts of extra energy, the same energy you should be using for creative work. You are spending your cognitive currency just to keep your body from collapsing. In Japan, there is a deep cultural understanding of karada no koe, listening to the body's voice. They know that when the body says it is tired, it is not being lazy, it is being efficient. It is telling you that your current state of operation is no longer sustainable. When you ignore these warnings, you are not being driven, you are being destructive. You eventually hit a wall, and when you do, it isn't just a bad day, it is a full-blown systemic shutdown. The shift is simple. Stop the violence against your own biology. Start practicing seijaku in your relationship with yourself. Listen to the ache in your back, the dryness in your eyes, the growl of your stomach. These are not obstacles to your success, they are the feedback loops that keep you alive. When you honor your body's need to rest, move, or eat, you are actually increasing your cognitive efficiency, not decreasing it. You are working in harmony with your design. This is your final catharsis. Look at the path we have walked through these 10 habits. You are not broken. You have simply been operating under a set of rules that were designed to exhaust you, not empower you. The Japanese secret isn't a complex ritual. It is the refusal to violate the fundamental laws of human biology. Stop the morning chaos. Open your breath. Create space for your thoughts. Stop the comparison trap. Close your emotional files. And for the love of your own life, let your brain clean itself in the dark. Look at your life tonight. Which of these 10 habits are you going to discard? Do not try to change everything at once. That is just another Western trap. Start with one. Start with the screen, or the breathing, or the light. Pick one habit that is currently burning your brain and extinguish it. Reclaim your focus. Reclaim your clarity. Reclaim the quiet power of a mind that is finally at peace with its own nature. You are one decision away from a life that doesn't just happen to you, but one that you are finally fully present for. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.